Hi, Carol here. A warm welcome to my craft room. We're going to be using the Candi Bean image here. This is a card, hello, for my granddaughter, Olivia. We all know Olivia. She used to do videos with me a few years back, and I wanted to make a special card for Olivia. They have two little dogs, and even though this image just has one, I started the video out. Isn't that the cutest little thing, those little puppies? And that's for you, Olivia, when you watch this. So I'm getting this card prepared, and she's turning 14, so we're going to give her some money in her card. So it's going to be a money card for those of you that are looking for a card that you can put something, gift card, whatever, inside. And I love this image. It had to have a little tape on that, Miss D, to put this image on, because it's just the rubber. There's nothing behind it, but that's fine. It works well. I gave it a couple of swipes there. And now, because I want, oh, hello. Because I want this image to be very crisp, I'm using my Copic multi-liner. As you can see there, it works very well. And then I'll add little lines I want and adjust the image just a little bit. So Copic time. Now this is a long video. It's an hour long. Yes, I think this is one of my longest videos, and it's actually edited down from about 16 hours of tape time down to an hour. And however you like to Copic color, bare skin, you can stop the video as I go along, but this is going to be a very dark skinned image because I love beautiful dark skin up against black hair, and I knew I was doing the black hair. And I like to cut my images out when I'm using Copics because I set it on a piece of scrap paper so that I can always wipe my Copics off. So as I get into the image here, you'll see why I cut my image and then I start to Copic color. These images like this stamp is very nice to color because you have such open space and you can experiment. That's the key for me. Just experiment. And here you could stop right here on the color and it would look really nice. But I like to add all shades of caramel when I'm doing a dark skin. Lots of different shades. Navy. I actually have a deep green in the face. I have burgundy. I have all different shades. You'll see as the Copics come down. And I left the Copics. There was, in this total image, were 51 Copic markers. I counted them out. I put them all along the side there. Now, you don't want to leave a face like this, but I will open up the center. I always do this. That's why I have the paper should come out pretty soon, because there it is. I'll wash off the marker that I'm using. Now, a lot of the times I couldn't see the tops to tell you the color, but I don't use a zero. Very seldom I'll take a zero to push my color, even where I'm not watching the hairline here, because I am doing a black and on the hair, and I'm going to have a lot of color there. The only place I needed to view was the little hand that I didn't go out of the lines. And Copics are very resilient. You can go over dark color with your light and push your colors. Just wipe them off right away. That's what I do. You'll see little sheets all the time. I'll turn it over and then I'll work with the other side. As long as you clean it right away, your Copics will stay wonderful. I like to let the colors rest for a while, so I will come back to the face later on. Once I get the undertone where I want it, I stop. I let it just soak into the cardstock, and then wherever I see I need to add more, I'll come back to it. Now, on black hair, I love to add 2 shades of undertone violet, and you can add and then come back and darken it, like on the bang part, the part that's right out in the open. And you'll notice that I take a multi-liner and I scribble all these lines and curly cues all underneath, because children's hair does not stay beautiful like like that, unless you just combed it, I guess, and took a picture. But there's all these little wee hairs all underneath, and it gives it such a realistic look. And I'm always going for realism, even in a cartoon figure like this. When I color, there's always method to my madness. On the right side here, where it goes down to a V, excuse me, here's the RV99, BV17, V22, BG78, RV13. That's what we've used so far. And these are the tones I'm going to go into the face that I used before, and I'll go back. And I always push my color out with a shade lighter. I don't push out with a 0. I don't know why I don't do that. I just, if you're going to push hair back, you might as well use the lightest shade of what you're using. I'm sorry, to push back color. And you'll see that on here. And you'll also see that on the right side, I leave a small smidgen of the violet line, because I want the hair to look, like I said, like it's waved, like it's poofing out and it has these waves. So the smaller the highlight, the more effect you get on that. So you do a small one like right there, and then you'll do a large dark tone, then a small. But on the left, I left it rather smooth because there's more hair on the left side coming down with the weight than it is on the right side. And those are the things I think of. Isn't it silly? And here I stopped to do some practice that day with my hand lettering book. I got this off Amazon, and it was, I'm showing my friend. She's on FaceTime there. Sorry, I got this on Amazon for $1. And it has about 6 or 7 different lines on the inside to practice your calligraphy or brush lettering for $1. Yes, that was a good buy. Now I've made my own card base, 6.5 by 7. I want to cut it out of this large nestability oval die, and I took out the Big Shot Pro because I needed the space on the wonderful magnet platform. I love this thing. Now that's 140 pounds folded in half, and I was able to cut it with one pass, which is great. Now I'm going to score the lines here, because these are the 2 sheets I need to cover 2 areas on the front and the inside and the back, and you'll see why I need 2 extra sheets. So I made the score line, and I'll just cut those off later. I'm putting them alongside to make sure that they are even before I cut them. And I've already cut out the balloons I'm going to need up there, 5 different cutouts, and the word friends I've cut out 5 times and set it up. Now we're going to hone back in on coloring the bow, and I'll zoom in just a minute for you. Yep, here we go. Nice close-up, and I'll explain to you some of the methods I use when I am Copic coloring here. I put the light base. I always go light to dark. Some people like to go dark to light. It doesn't matter, but I want to add folds. I want to add a lot of undertones, and that's what I'm doing here. Basically, it's a sketch with your Copics. I sketch everything out to see if it looks great the way I want it. I mean, it's not going to look perfect, but it's the way I'm satisfied with it. I know my darkest areas are going to be underneath the chin, underneath the arm, and then the rest of it I can play with to lighten up the tones. I think that's why I like sometimes cutting the image out and then setting it on top. And I'm also going to put one of those wobbles underneath the girl's head, so I'm going to cut the head image off. So I have that all in my mind as I'm doing this. So here I'm going in with navy and the violet. I think it's the V99 that I work with. And on the bottom, whenever I'm going over top the dark tones, you can see I just flick the marker off to take it off the bottom. And it does preserve your Copics. So I'll do the skirt, and then I'll go back. When I feel comfortable with the pleats the way they are, I'll leave them, and then I'll work on the undertone colors to make it look nice and wavy. And then there's a few other things that I like to do to bring color out, and that's what we're going to do next. Another thing I do here, I'm using the green And I'm also putting the green in the hair with the violet. Looks really nice on black hair. I like to let things rest. I think that's why it takes me so long. I'll come back and come back. Now here with my gel pen, I color over the gel pen. I lift it up to get a 3D look, and then I'll put the pink over top or the brown, whatever colors I want to work with. I wanted the polka dots underneath the frilly skirt, and then you can see the lines that I'm putting in the bow. That is just to make it stand out, and I will color over top. You get a 3D look, and it is such a nice effect. And here's the colors we just worked with. So a lot of the BVs like 133408, a lot of the G's I'm working with here. And I love to color over top of the white gel pen. Down on the bottom here, I worked with the purple in the socks to match the hair and the green, and I put black enamel accents on the shoes. That always looks nice, like the patent leather. And now I'm going to go over all of the white with the colors I choose to do. And the glitter pen. Of course, the glitter pen on the eyes and a little bit in the bow. Nothing looks nicer than that glitter pen and putting in enamel or putting glossy accents over top. Wow, it just brings the sparkle out tenfold. Now we're going to move to the little doggy who is so crazy cute. What I do first is I put my base tone. I know I want to have browns where the light beige is. The hair, when I do a dog, sometimes I use dots, like total dots to bring the fur up. And that's what we'll work on here. So I will do, I'd say, about 5 different shades of dots as I keep going here. Hopefully I'll move it over so you can see. And then I'll come in, and you know I do light to dark. So I'm kind of jumping all over because I'm not quite sure what I want this little puppy to look like. And I wasn't quite sure what kind of puppy this was, other than cute, cute, cute. I worked with the salmon and the pink together on the eyes and the inside of the ears. I knew I was going to add glossy accents to the ears to stand out, so I'm going to make them quite dark. I like the little dots on the eyelids with the pink and salmon. And now I'm going to leave the sun-kissed marks where I want them. But you don't have to worry. If you forget where you want your light source to be, you can always remove it with a lighter marker or your 0 if you're comfortable with that. And I like to add lines and crisscrosses and all kinds of different things so you can see underneath. And I want them to look kind of woolly, if that makes sense. And now we're going to go a little darker in the shades of this golden color. I added some little cheeks with the salmon color, and I popped it over there to the little girl just so while she was sitting there, that round circle would get into the cardstock, and I could go back and pinken it up because I've already set the alcohol there of the marker, and it'll work a lot easier. So I'm going to do some flicking techniques on the hair that is on the inside, totally different shades to make the little critter stand out. I'm going back on the cheeks with the salmon, and then I'll come in, and here's where I start to darken up. Now, because I did her skin and hair in dark values, I want to lighten up the puppy. So it has some nice contrast. And also, that's the E35, and I'm sorry I missed the other one. But, you know, you could just go with your 3 colors, you know, your light, dark, and your mid-tone would be really cute on this puppy. But I love to experiment with all different colors, and that's why I used 51 Copic markers on this image. It seems impossible, right, when I say it, but honestly, it was very easy to do. And yeah, so now I just walk away and come back and you know, work on it when I had time. And here I'm just showing you, this is what the colors were that we just did. before I move on. And the E33 is a nice tone for pushing back any of the color for the cheeks. And then we're going to keep going on this. I think that he's starting to have a little personality. And yeah, so now what I'm going to do with this E40s, I think it's E40s or 5, I use this like this zero pen here. I start to take away color first, and then I'll go in with the zero marker because I want to make kind of like a diamond shape. And you can see the difference between using a zero pen and using a lighter tone Copic marker. The thing I like to remember when you use the zero marker, it has no color in it. So you're going to get pure alcohol and it pushes the color out. You might get a bleed mark. But if you use a light shade, you won't get that bleed mark because what's going to bleed out is color. And that's why I think I try to stay away from the zero marker and use the lowest color family that I'm working with. And I do have a video explaining the Copic markers. They're very easy to understand once you know why the letter and the two numbers are on there. And here in the E family, if it focuses in E23, E35, 31, 39. So I did say pretty close in numbers, and I will put that in the description bar. I think you'll really enjoy knowing how Copic set up their numbering system. It sure helped me, especially if you have quite a number of Copics. It's good to know why the numbers are the way they are. So anyway, I'll put that in there. I did a video some time ago on that. And here now I want to go in to where my darkest shades would be. I'm speeding it up a little bit, and I just slowed it down so you could see the family of E's that I work with, especially if you want a light tone face. Those were really nice to work with. Now I think I'm finishing it up. I'm going back into all the little areas where the sun wouldn't kiss this little doggy. And we're going to call it finished. And there's all of the ones we used in the last segment. Just a quick tap over top of the Signo pen with the shade that I would like. And then we're finished. So what I did is this. As soon as I'm finished with the whole image, I take my Copics, all 51 of these, and even my Signo pen and my jelly roll, and I will take a little alcohol wipe and wash all of them up before putting them away, because sometimes when you're flicking the lid and that, you get the juiciness and they will possibly leak if it's full of ink. So to prevent that, I just take one at a time really quick. When I put it back into the organizer, I will rub it down. Look at that. That little image took 51 markers and I love it. I would even use 100 if I could get away with it, but I don't think my paper would stand up to it. I love this tree hero art set. It has the little wee tree base where your trunk is, and then it has all of the different sized dots to make your leaves. And this is lovely. I've used it once before, but I'm going to show you how to make a large tree from a small one with my Tombo markers, my watercolor Tombos. Can't wait to use them. So I got them out, and what I'll do is I'll wet this down with a dark brown and set it as a base. And now you want to move it over because I'm going to have a lot of foliage, but I'm going to have a lot of branches. See how I stamp it over and over again on the trunk, because I will spray it and move that beautiful ink around. So I just want the top now, the twigs, and I take the trunk out, and I will go all the way around here, situating a nice poofy tree. And it's going to be a blossom tree, and I'll show you how we do that later. And how we will add bulk to this is so simple, and it's so pretty to look at. This is what makes coloring so beautiful, when you sit down and you start to create from this little wee stamped area. I take out some of the water there, and even though I'm going to spray it down, I don't want too much movement right now. And I'll go in and put all the limbs in there that I want. I'll experiment with I think I added 2 different browns, and I will go and add the water here just to see how much I'm going to need to expand the twigs on this. I want to have a lot of leaves, so I want to leave the right upper section a little blank there, and here we go. Oxide inks. Oh yeah, I love these oxide inks. They look beautiful because they're so chalky and scrumptious. I just love them. So now I'm adding all of these circles. This set comes with 6 different sizes of kind of like leaf blobs. So nice. Here's the big one. And we're going to use greens and oranges and the blue and the violet, all kinds of colors in here. And the large stamp is with the orange, and now I can see how big I need the foliage because we are going to add some blossoms. I use the yellow. I'm not sure if that's the squeezed lemon. No, I don't think it's squeezed lemonade. I'm not sure, but these are all oxide inks I'm using. Love them. 2 pieces. Yes, the pistachio. Look at that. And then you get to choose all the different sizes. Spray it down right here. This is where you get the fullness on the tree so that you can't kind of see through it. And then we'll build up the trunk. I'll take my heat tool to that because you know it does lighten up. This way we get to, at the very end, I want to add this. That's when you're going to put more twigs in, the very end. Now I just use my hand. Believe it or not, I have stamps. I'm taking them out, resting them in my fingers, and look I'm just patting them real fast. I don't want to waste any time here. At first I needed to use my stamp press to situate it, but now I know I am going to go crazy on all these different dots. And then I just wipe it off on this wonderful chamois. Thank you, Janet. That was a gift from my friend Janet. And it doesn't matter how filthy it looks, it's clean. Yes, go figure. And it looks like I'm patting it with my hand, but I have a different stamp in my fingers every time. Quick and easy, and you can't get any better than that. But I did need to have the actual leaves instead of dots. So I go over to another set where it has these long little narrow and short little fat little leaves because I want to add realism to this tree. There's the twigs. I take the bottom, there we go, I take the trunk portion, and that's the only one I will set in the ink so I can thicken out the trunk. And then I will take just the twigs and go back and see how it just pops. Just pops. I just love it. I just love coloring, don't you? And then you set that down, and now comes the part where we start to actually create. So pretty. You've got your stamping down, so now your little bit of artistic wonderfulness that you love to do comes out. So I grab my water pen and I am going in. This is all oxides. I go down the side of my oxide inks to grab the color. And that's what I'm doing here. Wait till it dries and add your Copics. Give it some grass. Yep, more Copics. Just going to set it down on there. Not sure how far I want to go across with the Copics, so I stopped short. It's better to stop short than knowing you can't erase it, right? So here I'm going back in with that beautiful mustard color. I'll set my image down to where I think I want it, and we'll go from there. I like to let things that the colors we put in rest a little bit. I'll erase it with my white click eraser, and because I know exactly where I'm going to put it. And now I needed to have some realistic looking leaves go on this image so it looks a little bit more realistic as a tree is concerned. This is just all extra stuff I like to do. I'll do some double stamping, triple stamping, just to get light and dark using the same color of my distress inks. I decided I wanted these to be not so chalky looking as the oxides, more on the ink side. So I'll go in and add 3 different, you know, the pistachio and the squeezed lemonade, the 2 other different greens there. And now I would just put them all facing in the same direction. This is the kind of video I call the P and P. Popcorn and patience. You need the popcorn because it's long, and you need the patience to go through all of this. I'm so sorry. But it's like doing 4 cards. That's what I always say, because I do each side of the card base. So it's like 4 cards in 1 hour. Can't beat that, right? Okay, so I feel better. Now it's Distress Oxide blending time. These blend like butter. Yes, butter. Just, it makes it enjoyable to do coloring like this. I put it right onto my mat. The one thing I think I would say that helps me a lot is coming from the mat onto the card. And this 140-pound cardstock takes a lot of abuse, let me tell you, and just keeps on ticking. You can wet it, you can do almost everything. And I go to our stationery store, and they make business cards from this paper, and they cut it special for me in the card size, 8.5 by 11, and that's how I buy it. So I buy it per card, and I just love the weight. It's so nice and thick. So then I always add 2, right? Because I add 1 on top of the card base, which is 6.5 by 7. I'll just tell you that, of this balloon shape. Now, if you stuck with me this far, I want to send a big, huge thank you. I sure appreciate it. And I knew this was going to be a little lengthy. And lengthy. Is that a word? But with most of my comments, oh yes, I gotta jump in here. You have to put some mauve in there to match the hair, because her image will be right there at that right hand side. So that's why lilac went in there. And then I will proceed to use the same applicator and go under the tree with some of that kind of a gray-green tone that looks like shade under the tree. So this is, always remember, the base. I am just setting the base here to what I want to achieve later. The tree isn't finished because it needs more texture. And you know me by now, it's all about texture. I want to really make that tree pop off the page as well. And that's why the girl image, having the dark tones in her skin, just looks beautiful on the backdrop of the colors with the distress inks we have now. The 12 colors that came in, the green, it's all there. I'm just so thrilled with this ink. Now my wonderful distress sprayer I lost but then found. I love it because you get the mist and you get the blobs all in one little unit. It's fabulous. Then I'll take my cloth that looks terribly dirty, but it's clean, clean, clean. That's what's nice about those. Thank you again, Janet. And here we're going to add the grass, and we need to set the image down all the time, so it's nice that it's cut off. And I also have to remember that her head's going to be on a wobble, right? So we're going to cut the face off, and we're going to have a face off shortly. So I always keep that in mind. A little bit of humor there. It's hockey humor. I'm Canadian. I'm looking at snow falling right now. Can you believe it? It's rain snow here in Ontario. Okay, you got to go in and you have to make those twigs pop out. Now, the sunlight is coming at us, right? Because in the image, it's all in the center. Everything came into the center. But my tree, I'm going to make more so that the dark shades are on the left and the lights on the right. For no particular reason, just because that's what I wanted to do at the time. That's why I let it rest. That's why I come back, let it dry, let it dry, let it dry. And then you can situate all your dark tones, and you can go in and make this so 3D and so textured. It's all about how textured. You want it to look like you drew that tree when in reality it was one tiny little stamp set. By the way, the W+9 set is called Spring Blooms, if you're looking for it. So now with these gorgeous Tombo markers, we're going to add our dark tones and then some water in our water brush. It's that easy peasy. So look at that. I just love this effect. I put my little image down there, it pops, and the tree, which is in the background, does look like it's in the background because we left it pale. We did not keep stamping to bring it to the forefront. So I like that. And now I'm trying to think, should that balloon be in his mouth? Oh, no, 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 no. Because the technique next, you're going to love. It is one of my favorite alcohol distress techniques to use with acetate, your micro brushes, and I'm going to leave a link for those micro brushes. I get them at the dental office, but where I used to work. But they're on Amazon on Wish it's called, for $1 for 100, and the link will be there in 3 colors. That is a fabulous price if you're American. My friend sent it to me, and it's called Wish, and you will love it if you're American because you're just going to pay the $1. I had to pay the shipping, but still, for $11.83, I got 300 micro brushes. Okay, let's move on. Oh, I wanted to use these stickers I bought. Oh, I can't even tell you how long ago. They're by Martha Stewart at Michael's, and the number is W00640515, and it's called Pearl Garden Cherry. 99 cents. Yes, it's 4 pieces of these beautiful blossoms. And what I like about this, you get the texture standing off the limbs that you put down with your stamp, right? The twigs. You get that so it pops up, and then you get these gorgeous 3D blooms. And I think it's wonderful. And here's the orange tape I got at Tuesday morning. That was really inexpensive. Oh yes, it is time. It's 11 o'clock at night, 2 nights ago, and I had to have some fruit. So I ran downstairs and mixed me up a bowl of fruit, and I took a little break. Look at that. The embossing folder. Yes, I just want to show you I use glossy accents for the ears. I really did try to keep a lot of this contained so it wasn't so long, but oh well, it is what it is, right? So my Xyron, I put through the 2-inch Xyron the word friends. I'll leave that in the description for you. And the balloons had to go through my 5-inch Xyron. But this is the fun part. Alcohol inks. I love this with your micro brushes. Put any color on your acetate. This is the thick acetate. Yeah, I had an accident there. Look at that. Oh yeah. But it all washes off, and that's what I did. I washed it off and carried on. After I was clean, I came back with my micro brushes. I got this on Page Protector acetate, much thicker than normal acetate at the stationery store. Then you put down another piece of acetate, rub it with your hands. This is really thick, and look at shaker balloons are going to go on here. Now these ran through the Xyron, so they're all sticky, and I get to place it where I want to have, this is going to be shakers, remember, little wee tiny balloon shaker little elements. And would this not make a beautiful Aurora Borealis background, or night sky, star sky, galaxy? Look at that, Sherry. Is that not a beautiful galaxy? And I'm pressing it where that little bubble is there. And then I grab the other ones and I move them to the color I want. And it's all sticky. I took it off my Xyron sticky. So once I press it down, it's there. And then we're just going to cut them off. Now you want to make sure you have gloves because it will a tiny bit ooze out the side. I took my pokey tool to get the Xyron sticky off, and a little bit about baby powder on the end of my pokey. That's why I go over it. I'm going to show you what I do to get, anyway, I'll show you that later. But look at, I put my elements down inside the balloons, then a third piece of thick acetate. This will work with thin or thick, but I like the thick Page Protector acetate here. And then I turn one of the balloons on the other side so that it sticks, right, when the next piece of acetate goes down, if that makes any sense. And then I'll go direct to paper with my Oxide inks to color them in. Now I have 3 pieces of acetate, right? The alcohol inks are smushed between 2. Then I put my sticky balloons on top of the second piece, and then I turn my balloons upside down so the sticky's on the top, and then I just glue it down with multimedia matte to get it on there. Then I stick the third acetate. I'm cleaning it up, you know, the oxide with my micro brush, and here comes the cutting. So I'll cut around it first, and these are just inexpensive dollar store gloves. You can see they're gargantuous, but they work well here if you can keep them on your fingers. I'm going to go around and cut them as close as I can, but you don't have to cut those long dangly things. Lift it up, like lift up the one piece of acetate and then cut around the bottom. Take those off so that you just have the one piece of acetate you have to cut from. See there? You can see on the right upper portion that the acetate, I kept it in there. I didn't bother taking it out. And the key to these balloons is glossy accents to seal. Just lift it up. You can take it right off. I think I might even, come on, get out of my way there, balloons. Yeah, I've got a little bit stuck there. But you can lift it all the way up and go around all of it. Yeah, I took that right off. I mean, no time here. You want to move on. So just take your glossy accents, go around the balloon, put your other acetate over top. You still have your shaker elements in there, which does shake. Oh yes. Have balloons that shake, a shaker card balloon, a shaker element. The baby wipe is just taking some of the oxide ink off the acetate. I cut the head portion off to put our wee wobbles, the little mini wobblers. I put one wobble behind her head. Now I'm taking my Tombo to give it some dark shades and light shades around my blossoms. And I am so happy with this card. I really am. I think that Olivia is just going to be overjoyed with this. And doesn't it make it nice to know that your work is appreciated? You know, when you give a card away, that's the payback we get as card makers, is the joy of knowing that our work is appreciated. And I think Olivia will just, you know, love the little doggy and the elements here and the gift that's going with it. Bonus! Yeah, remember it's a gift card holder. Yes. So anywho, I hope if you've stuck with me this long, you've enjoyed it. I love my subscribers. You just make my channel. Yes, that's why I have the little hearts. Thank you so much. I wish I could name all of you by your personal names so that you know how much I appreciate you. And Henrietta from Holland, I do have that card going in the mail. It's just so you know, I just thought of that. So anyway, yes, for my new subscribers, welcome aboard. I am so pleased that you're here. So now on this embossed with the feet, we need to add more oxide ink. So just grab your applicator, and I have a piece of cards. Oh, sorry about my head. I had to reach for an applicator. Now I have them on the Tim Holtz spinner thing, so it's nice and accessible, because these don't have the applicator bottoms like the minis, you know, that you store underneath. So I actually have to reach for something. Crazy, eh? So here we go. Let's move on. We're going to just add color. It's all about the color. Love the cracked pistachio. Say that 10 times. And the brown tones. Something about the pastel and the orange in this. Oh, beauteous. All right, so we're ready to take the tape off. I use my pokey tool and helps to hold it down. And then just, yes, I had to make sure that that tape was situated everywhere so that nothing would boing off the page. So take your double-sided tape off and look at that. It's like tape surgery, isn't it? We are on 39 minutes and 36 seconds. And if you still are here, thank you very much for following through. But you know, even I like long videos. Like I like to watch process videos. And I've just came to the, yes, I do. Yes, shake it off. And I just came to the conclusion that you just have to put up what you do. And in this situation, it's 4 cards in one because I did each side. So I'm not going to feel guilty about it being too long. I really am not, because my subscribers and those that join me, you're very kind concerning the time I put things out there. So thank you very much. So here comes the first layer. I put double-sided tape, like the green roll, double-sided tape on the back of that. My little wobble, my mini wobble, love these mini wobbles. I got those at Sharon's store. I put the head right there. Make sure before you press it, and it just boing boings, and my little shaker balloons, they're going to shake once we get those on. And this is the spot that we're going to put. Oh yeah, oh, don't mess up my grass. Yeah, I have a lot of fun doing the edit. I really do. I love those little animals. So here we want to situate them around the bloom, but I want the string portion of it to be up just a little bit, you know, not flat. I want it to have a 3D look. So I just, you know, pushed it up with the glue dot underneath her hair and gave it the little lift I wanted. And I did the same thing, making one of the balloons, yeah, I'm boinging the little head, making one of the balloons come off the page. So from the back you could look at, see the little elements, they do shake, the head shakes, boing, boing, boing. I love it, I love it. Yes, I know, I do love what I do. I do love creating, and that's what it's all about, right? Is just the process of it all, and the relaxation of it all is wonderful. So now my 1/2" ATG, yes, I finally got it working, and I'm going to put it down because this is sticky. I used my hot glue gun, one of my 5 hot glue guns. Yes, if you watch my videos, that's kind of like a play on words there. I put this beautiful Deco Fun ribbon from England. I have a video coming up for a Mother's Day gift that I'm going to do this weekend. And so look forward to that. And it's using the Deco Fun bow maker and their beautiful, beautiful ribbon from England. It's gorgeous. So that will be coming up. So then I just set the paper pattern I want on top of the double-sided ATG gun glue, and it's from the Graphic 45 Raining Cats and Dogs. Yes, I've been hoarding this whole set. I love it. That collection, yes, has been in my stash. Oh yeah, don't walk on it. Whew. Yes, and so on the back here, I used the Collection Graphic 45 with the advertisement page because it's not really, we have enough color coming off the pages, so I thought the front and the back would be kind of neutral as far as the colors. I'll take some Distress Oxide here, and it's the walnut stain, I think, and I'll go around the edges. I love the pigment in this oxide, it's so pretty. And then I add it, yeah, I'm trying to pick it up here. Now we're going to add the back, and this is the die that I have, Tina, but I think it's different than yours. I was having issues with creating this because the die is a card and back die. It's not just the element that you see that holds your card up right there that's flapping. It actually has a front, and in the die it has square cutouts for a frame. So this is altogether different, but I'll leave it in the description, and I'll do a separate video. If you request it, I will. And this tulip sewing glue or whatever it is I got for just over $2 is fabulous. It dries clear, and it's on sale at Michael's, less than half price, and it was worth it. It has a detailed front, worth every penny. So I went back to the Graphic 45. I put 2 different, as you can see, because I cut them out wrong. You have to flip the die, and I didn't, but I like this look. Believe it or not, I just think it adds some vintage shabby chicness, awesomeness to it. So I had my dog, I took off Literally, I made Olivia a book for her doggy pictures when her puppies were little. And they're not little anymore, so it goes to tell you I've had this collection forever. Yes, but anyway, we won't go there. I got the back situated so it has the flap on it to hold it up, and we're going to work on the front. It has 4 or 5 layers that are on the Xyron sticky. I took it off and I am building it up for the dimension. So I'm using a few stickers on the back page. That's why I'm holding it there. I will put the die set to that because it's an actual card and back together. And I'll put it in the description bar, and I will do a separate video if you would like to see it. And now I'm going on here to make sure it's nice, taking the glue out with my tweezers. And then we're going to do some coloring with the Copics, and I'm going to do the orange on the bottom, the ombre look. That was what I was trying to think about here. I'm going to add the orange and then the green tones in the top. So I had to come back to edit this little portion because I erased it by mistake. And I just wanted to thank everybody for their comments. It means so much to me. My channel is slowly growing, and I try to make sure I answer your comments because, you took the time to watch my videos. And not only that, I always say you take the time to reach out and tell me what you appreciate in whatever I am doing, like whatever art form I'm putting up in a video. And this is R&R for me, rest and relaxation. Now that I am retired, I have time to put into creating and doing art that I love, and I love to share it here on YouTube. So thank you very much for subscribing, for giving me the thumbs up there so that it helps the placement of my videos, and for your comments. And if you don't hear back from me, it's only because I didn't see it, but in time it will come up and I will get back to you. So let's move right along and we will finish up this tutorial. Anyway, I wanted to show you the card that inspired me for this big balloon oval card. Was this one I did 2 years ago. I did all the balloons, I colored them in neon, bright, bright, bright colors, and I did the push tab. Yes, it's upside down, Carol. Yes, turn it around. You pull it down, and when you pull it up, it's colored in. And my daughter-in-law said it was he was too young to have it. He may break the top, so I'm going to give it to him this birthday. But that's where I got the inspiration to make a balloon-shaped card. And I just wanted to show you. There's the little action wobbles that are the mini ones now. And then you have the shaker. You have the ombre look. You have a lot of elements in there. On the inside, oh, there's the easel. The paper on the inside matches the envelope. Oh, did I mention we have an envelope too? Oh, that makes up for a whole hour video, doesn't it? Anyway, I'm putting the little wee shades in around my enamel accent black nose. I forgot to mention, in all of that edit, I didn't put in his little nose, and I wanted it to match the shoes, the enamel shoes that the little girl has on there. So I'm just shading. Like I said, I always go back and check things out at the end. And then the ombre friends, I have to make a little darker. I think I do that later. And then the easel, the boing boing hair, and it ties up into a little bow. Well, it's not little bow, it's a big bow. Next, I'm going to show you where I keep my baby powder. Before I put down my Versamark and my ink, I have a baby powder container here. And it has the holes in the top, and I put tape over it. You know, the packaging tape on here, and that's all baby powder. And what I do, I have little holes made, just tiny ones for the powder to come out, but I set my big pins on there, like my sewing pins for when I go down into bottles to free up the globs. That way it has the baby powder on it and it doesn't wreck the needles when it comes, and it makes the glue come off real easy. Just a suggestion, if you use baby powder, I got that container for it at the thrift store. And there's the little punch I use. It's 1/8 it says on there. I put it down. And we're going to make little bones now. I just wanted to show you that baby powder glass jar that I sprinkle on, and so it protects from any stray powders. So here I'm back to my Tombo markers. I have this set, a doggy set that has the little bones in it. So I am just going to stamp, stamp, stamp. We're going to fussy cut around these bones, and believe you me, there is a reason to my madness. So on these bones, you want to make sure, like the image, you go around it with your Memento Tuxedo Black or your Copic 100 Black marker, so all the white edges don't show on any of your cutouts. That to me is so important, because you don't want to see all the rough edges or white cardstock after you went to all the trouble to fussy cut. It just makes it look clean. Now I have this die that says Celebrate, and I set it on top of my thick acetate, and then I'm going to cut the sides out. And this is strange how this stuck on here, because it's not a permanent marker. It is the markers, the Expo markers for a whiteboard. I had a set of them, and I thought I'm going to try it, and actually, because it's on the inside, it did stay, and it's a whiteboard, so I'm able to rub it off, so it's not permanent. We use the whiteboard in our office, so I thought I'm gonna get some extra ones, of course. And yeah, I did. Don't say no. So I'm going over the colors, in the brown, green, yellow, and orange, so that it stands out here. And this is where we're going to put our little Olivia fund. And I thought it'd be kind of cool. Yes, this is our Canadian money. That's a 10 I'm sliding in there. Our 20s are green, and our 5s are blue. Yes. And I just thought I'd show you, this is where you're going to have, or gift card on this side. That's why the acetate was nice to have it very thick. And the glue dots underneath are hidden by the bones I'm going to put up there with more glue dots. So everywhere I put, I put a glue dot, and I have extra large glue dots too. I'm not sure which ones. I think I just used the Stampin' Up! Ones there. But anyway, look at that. And on the bottom, you want to secure it, so whatever you put in. But generally, a gift card or money's not going to come out the bottom, right? And they're going to get it out of there so quick. You're not going to know you put it in there in the first place. So here I'm cleaning up just a little bit of the glue that I see from the Xyron, and the inside is done, and thank you so much. The easel is finished, and I had to put that little wee tag thing on the easel because the easel kind of slanted up and it wouldn't stay. So here's the front of that easel die that I didn't use, and it's 3 layers thick with my 140-pound cardstock. So I just drew a bone basically right out of the blue. What's so hard about drawing a bone out? And then I had enough to make the second bone that will match on the other side, that will say happy birthday. So I used a Casual Fridays die that said happy birthday. I took my Copics and I colored this all in. The paper on it's graphic 45, like the rest of the paper I have on this card. That's Raining Cats and Dog Collection. And here we go. We're going to use our 3 or 4 shades to make it look a little realistic, give it some depth and dimension. And yeah, is this not fun? It is so much fun to create. And my Coca-Cola is in view. That helped me along. I did finish my fruit bowl, and all is good in Carol's craft room. I do hope you enjoyed the process and were inspired in some way. I did the birthday in the dotted paper like the easel in the back to match up. I did 2 layers of it, like twice. No, maybe 3. I think I did 3. And piled it high. I went over it with the glossy accents. I love the lid on this, the detailed lid. You know, sometimes they do get clogged and you have to just take them off and take that pin that's in the baby powder and poke it through, and then everything's fine. I did the same thing with the happy. This is from Catherine Pooler Stamp of Approval set that had the little happy birthday die. And I just love the polka dots. I needed something to stand off the page with this really, busy paper from Graphic 45. I took the glossy accents and went over the bones. And now I'm going to show you something. I have this little machine and I printed off a little picture of that I had the Stamp of Approval pic I had online. I just printed off on that little machine, and it makes me at 6.5 by 7, and I'm making the envelope now. So I'm going to print out a picture of Olivia and put it inside with the gift card. And here, I always put washi tape on the edges because this is a thick cardstock. Graphic 45 is beautiful cardstock. So you're not going to see the inside of the envelope, so secure it with either Scotch tape or use up your washi tape right here. And then I'm folding it in. It took 10 3/4 by 10 3/4, and I scored it at 4 7/8. Washi tape is a wonderful idea, especially if you're going to send it through the mail, but I'm not. This is going straight to Olivia. And yeah, all it needs right now is the double-sided tape to close and secure here on the edges, and we are almost finished, my friends. May I thank you so much if you joined me throughout the whole video, my friends and subscribers. I really do appreciate you. I think you know that. And I say it all the time. I have the best subscribers out there. To all my new subscribers, thank you. And the Graphic 45 had this 2 big, in the 12 by 12 pack, all of these stickers. And I wanted to use the cardboard flip out tags to hold it down in weight. So what I did is I put a button on one side and one on the other. I poked out the holes to put my string through, and we're going to take this card and set it in there with the bow up towards the flap, and I'm going to fold it over. I just think it's so pretty, this cardstock. Oh, raining cats and dogs. If I can get my hands back in here to show you. I attached it with gold. It's stretchy, kind of like boing boing twine, and I put the tag on there, going over the edges, of course, because I added the paper to match. One side matches the front of the card and the other side of the tag matches the back. And here's my 51 Copic markers I used on the image. Thank you, my friends, for subscribing. Please, if you like the video, if you would press like, I would appreciate that. And for your comments, I always enjoy answering your comments. So there you have it, my friends. Have a blessed weekend coming up. And I took some of my doggy's dog bones for you. Take care, my friends.